Just how bad do we expect the recall to impact Samsung this quarter? I know there were some indications it would be terrible, but more recently that maybe not as bad as some analysts had expected.
Hi, Emily. Yes, the projections for Note 7 sales in particular have been cut pretty dramatically. They're down about 38%, according to the analysts that we've seen. The company is likely to ship only about 8 million Note 7s this year, so that's down pretty dramatically. Partly that's because they just have not been able to sell them during this crisis. They've been recalling them. As you say, they're pretty far along in terms of the recall. They say that 60%, of the last they said was that 60% of those phones have been replaced, and they're beginning to ship new phones in the key markets, including Korea and the United States. And what we're going to see tomorrow are the preliminary earnings, so they'll give a broad indication of operating profit and revenue. Revenue is expected to be down just a tad, and they may give some insights into what this whole recall is going to cost. Analysts have estimated it's going to be $1 billion to $2 billion. We'll see exactly what those numbers are. Hopefully they'll give some transparency in that area.
And what about the long-term fallout? I mean, I know Samsung has said that most people are replacing their phones with the replacements that they have provided, but over the long term, do we see customers switching brands as a result of this?
Well, that's the key question. Not incidentally, Google introduced a whole line of high-end Android phones today. So you're going to see a lot more competition in the market, especially in places like China. You have very strong domestic competitors. So Samsung already has a very competitive market, and this is a blow to their brand image. We went out and talked to a bunch of retailers in a number of different places, and they say that the early results are that some of the other phones, not the Note 7s, but the other products that they have out there, are taking a bit of a hit at this point. Samsung, of course, has been working hard to contain that damage and limit the fallout. We'll see whether that is successful. They have a real challenge in China in particular, where they decided not to do a full-blown recall. Instead, they took back some of the products. They said most of the phones already on the market had new batteries and they were fine. But the people in China are a bit perturbed about that, including state-owned media.